Good morning, bakers. It's me, Joseph. We're back again with another favorite recipe. This time I'm putting a little twist on a little boozy oatmeal raisin cookies. I hope you like Jamaican rum in your life. If not, you can leave it out. But for those of us who do, stick around. I'm going to show you how easy this recipe is. Completely easy. So our ingredient list, that will include, of course, our oatmeal, brown sugar, eggs and butter, flour, baking soda, and white sugar. And I've ground up a little bit of star anise to go in there, but I had to put it right on top of that sugar so I wouldn't forget it. But that star anise is very powerful. You wouldn't need a lot of it. And of course, we're going to have baking powder. And nutmeg and cinnamon are key ingredients just about in anything you'll bake. But I choose to use whole versus already ground, and our favorite weapon, of course, is that vanilla concentrate. But here are these golden raisins. I've been having them soaking in Jamaican rum for about 2 months, and they didn't swell up on me too badly, like they didn't turn back into grapes. So I was grateful for that. So let's get started. I'm going to be using this flex edge on our attachment. What that effectively does, it scrapes down the side of the bowl for you, so it will leave less for you to have to scrape down once you have all your ingredients incorporated. And that's a major help. That's a major help. I love that KitchenAid has provided that. So we're going to start with 2 sticks of butter. These are regular size sticks of butter, even though they may not look like it. The way that Danish Creamery packages it, it makes them look like they're smaller than 8-ounce sticks of butter, but they are 8 ounces. So we're just going to let those beat on medium speed for 5 minutes, and then we're going to add some other ingredients to it too. But now if you take notice how this edge, it hits a different spot every time, and that's how it gives you that scraping down effect. And it makes your job easier. I mean, I love the tool. It's amazing. Alright, so now we're going to add our brown sugar, our cinnamon, and our nutmeg. The brown sugar first, I let it sit out too long. That's why I got clumpy again. But no worries, it didn't get too clumpy because, you know, once that happens, it's basically no good. It didn't turn back into a whole brick or whatever. Now with this cinnamon and nutmeg, like I mentioned before, when you use whole nutmeg and cinnamon sticks, it's an entirely different flavor than some pre-ground stuff that you will buy off the shelf and just sprinkle it on top. It takes the flavor profile to another level. And these pods, they're incredibly soft. They're like a soft stone, and so they're very easy. They won't give you any problems at all as far as grating it goes. You know, I like to, as you can see, just grate it right into my mix. And I usually use about a tablespoon at the most, because like I said, it's powerful. You won't have to use a lot of it. And the payoff is great. Now the thing about these cinnamon sticks, they're of a much different texture. They're hard and a little brittle. As you'll see, I have to scrape them at an angle to keep it from chipping off, and then you have what you don't want, little chips of cinnamon sticks in there instead of some finely ground cinnamon. So I had to scrape it at an angle. I had to turn my mixer off because I didn't want it to knock out of my hand. I had to turn it, I don't grate it directly on, I grate it at an angle so that I won't get any of those little small shards or chips of cinnamon sticks in there, because you don't want that. And this recipe, it comes together pretty quickly. Basically, once you get going with this, it's not going to take you long. You want to mix your ingredients quick enough just to get them incorporated. Like these eggs, once I drop one in there and it's gotten incorporated pretty good, I'll let it go just long enough to get it all mixed in, and then I'll crack another egg and put it in there along with it, and let that get incorporated pretty good. Now as you're looking at your cookie dough, it might to your eyes resemble more batter form than dough, but don't worry about that because we got other ingredients that's going to thicken that up and turn it right into the consistency that you want it to be. So no worries about that. So once that's all gotten incorporated, those eggs that is, that's when I go ahead and add in my vanilla concentrate. If you don't have vanilla concentrate, vanilla extract will work as well, or vanilla bean paste, whichever you prefer. I prefer the vanilla concentrate because it's so powerful and it's so much more flavorful. It just takes everything to another level. And you'll see the difference if ever you decide to order something. You can get it right on Amazon, or you can go to Jamaica and get it yourself, or wait to, if you see a friend going to Jamaica, tell them bring me back some of that vanilla concentrate. That's what I did. So now we're going to work on our dry ingredients. We're going to set that aside for a minute. And you will notice the reason I put my salt in here first is because salt is an ingredient that I always forget. But another mistake I made right here is I only had iodized salt, but you really should use non-iodized table salt when you're baking. So that's something I'm going to correct going forward. So don't do as I do. So now we've added our baking soda and our flour. Along with that baking soda, we're going to add some baking powder. That's going to give our cookies a nice rise, but you don't want it too fluffy. You don't want it cake-like or pancake-like, but just enough that you're not making crackers instead of, cookies. And we're going to whisk all of that together, get everything all incorporated, nice and mixed well. And of course, our number one ingredient in making oatmeal raisin cookies, we got to have oatmeal. So we're going to pour them oats in there. We're going to get them nice and coated with all of that flour mixture. And then it'll be ready to go back and go into our batter. Now some of this oatmeal, it was a little stubborn. I'm trying to use this whisk. I just shook it up and got it, made sure that everything got coated and nice and even. That's the key thing. You want consistency and evenness, and that will make your bake, whatever you're baking, that will make your bake nice and consistent, even and smooth. Because you don't want to have one cookie that's, oh man, it's amazing, chock full of oatmeals and raisins, and your other cookie is just, dull and boring and flat. So now we're going to incorporate our dry ingredients into our wet. Now I just poured a little at a time because once I turn this mixer on, I don't want an explosion of dry ingredients in my face or to make a mess or anything like that. So I just let that go for a little bit. Once some of it is incorporated, pour a little bit more in there, and that'll keep you from making a mess so much, because cleanup is the least favorite part of anything you'll do in the kitchen, so you want to keep it at a minimum. Alright, so we're just going to let that come together real quickly. Once everything is mixed in there, you don't have to let it go for too long. Alright, we're going to shove that aside and just scrape down our paddle. Make sure we get all of that good cookie dough off of there. And from here on out, you won't need the mixer anymore. We just all the rest of our ingredients, which is just the raisins. Basically, we're going to incorporate that with our plastic spatula here. It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, but hey, it'll be fine. Alright, we set that to the side and we're good to go. Now we're going to add these beautiful raisins. Look how beautiful they are. Now they've been soaking in my favorite Meyers original dark Jamaican rum. I love it. It's good. I've used it in all kinds of bakes. And you can see how they have soaked that rum up completely. They have soaked it up completely. But at the same time, they're not overly swollen and puffy. I kind of expected that, but I was pleasantly surprised. And we're just going to take our spatula and work it in there. Incorporate them raisins, just fold it over, keep folding until you've got them all incorporated and evenly spread out through the dough. That's the key thing. You want the raisins to be evenly spread out through the dough. And we're just gonna keep working it, keep working it. We got some more raisins we're gonna add to it. Eventually all of these raisins are going in there. Yes, that's about a box of raisins, a big box of raisins. I'll put the exact measurements in the description, so you'll know what I use, how much powder, how much flour, how much baking powder, how much baking soda, etc., etc., everything that I use. I'll put all of that in the description link. And as long as you follow this method, I can guarantee you'll have some good cookies. So if you look closely at this dough, you see it's got a little bit of wetness to it. If you decide to actually form it with your hand, I use the ice cream scooper to form it. But if you decide to form it with your hands, make sure you put a little flour on your hands, because this is kind of a wet dough due to the rum. And there you have it, all set out and laid out, and they're ready to go, and they're going to sit in the fridge for a couple of days. Then I'll pop them in the oven. So let's talk about this suit. This is a suit that I really love. I picked it up when I was in New York by a company called Paisley Gray. Now you can find it directly on their website, or you can go to Men's Warehouse. Now I was also wearing this I Love New York shirt, because I do love New York. We were in New York, but I'm kind of mourning because we missed Fashion Week, but oh well. All right, 3 days later, they have come out of the oven, and they only take like less than 15 minutes to come out of the oven. Look how big and fluffy they are. They are absolutely beautiful. I mean, I can't tell you, I wish you could smell them, but you can't. But the rum, the smell of the rum and all of those other ingredients included with it just took the flavor, the aroma, everything to another level. I mean, it was truly amazing. You can just see how beautiful those are. I hope y'all like this video. I hope y'all decide to bake this. And whatever you do in life, no matter what comes your way, just keep baking.